What's up, guys, and welcome to another video to Union Arena. Today we're gonna take a look at the yellow sorted online decks. And first off, we have the Alice Trinity here with the Kirito and Eugeo. And it will go up against the Goddesses deck with the Asuna, Leafa and the Sinon here. So yeah, let's head into the deck list. Alright, let's start with the first yellow deck here, the Alice, Kirito and Eugeo deck. I don't know any of these characters except Kirito because I have just watched the first season of Sword Art Online like long time ago. So I would be kind of happy to get like a small explanation of these characters because this deck and the other yellow deck are really strong and fun to play. So right, this deck is about the Holy Trinity here, Integrity Knights, and you basically want to have all of three characters on the field, the Kirito, the Eugeo and the Alice. So your characters will gain extra abilities. Let's start with the star of this deck, the Raid Alice card here. She's a 5 energy card and her Wind Blade ability allows you to KO one of your opponent's characters. If you have no one on your field, you can KO 2k. If you have a Kirito or Eugeo on your field, you can KO 3k. And if you have both on your field, you can KO 4k. So yeah, this character is pretty strong. And it's basically like a special trigger character card. For her line, we added 4 of the 0 cost Alice, who doesn't really do anything. 4 of the 1 cost Alice with Step. And 4 of the color trigger Alice, who has double energy and also Step. And if Kirito and Eugeo are on your field, this character will gain 1000 battle points. So pretty standard. Next up is the Eugeo line here with the raid card. Now he has Impact 1 and Nullify Impact, which is nice, but also the ability when he's sidelined to boost your Kirito and Alice by 1000 battle points and giving them Nullify Impact. So he's an attacker and a blocker and a buffer at the same time. Pretty neat character. In his line we added 4 of the 0 cost Eugeo. He has a Wind Blade ability to buff another character by 1000, which is not too strong. And 4 of the double energy Eugeo, who is the searcher for Kirito and an Alice card. However, we also include the event card Memories of the Three Children, who is also a searcher for all 3 of these cards. Alright, the Kirito line is pretty simple. We have, let's start with the 0 cost first. Standard 0 cost Kirito Step. We want to include him because he's easy to get on the field, so we have all the abilities of the other characters. And then I just run 2 of the double action point cost Kirito. Now this character is really strong and you could run 4 of them. And I first run 4 of them, but I decided to include 2 more double energy characters. And you can basically play him active on the field, and if Alice and Eugeo are on your front line, this character will gain double attack, which means when he swings, you can set him back to active. So yeah, he's a pretty strong character, but the double action point cost is kinda expensive. Okay, lastly are the event cards. We just have the standard special trigger here. If Alice on your field, you can KO 5k. And the Homemade Pie, which is the final trigger, switch up to 2 action points back to active. And then I already talked about the searcher here. We run 4 of them. You can add 2 of the Kirito, Alice or Eugeo cards to your hands. So this is like the best search that you can get. And then lastly, they also have a side card. You can basically activate main, switch resting, sideline this card, and you can draw 2 cards if you have a Eugeo with 4000 or more battle points on your field. So yeah, that gives you all the draw power that you need to find all the pieces to connect the Trinity here. Okay, let's head into the Goddess deck. Up next here is the yellow Goddess deck with the Sinon and the Asuna, and also the Leafa here. And this deck is another banger because you have so many abilities and potential with this deck. It's kind of crazy. So let's start by going over the cards. I will start with the Sinon line first because she's a little bit easier to understand, and she will explain one of the mechanics of the deck, which is basically you will gain abilities based on the number of life cards that you have. So she's a raid character, and during my turn, if I have 4 or less life cards, she will gain the sniper ability. If I have 3 or less life cards, this character gains an additional 500 battle points, and I have 2 or less life cards, she will also gain Impact 1, which is pretty strong. So 2 or less life cards, you will basically be able to snipe one of your opponent's characters and deal 1 damage to them. In her line, we just have like 4 of the 0 cost Sinon here, pretty standard character, and then 4 of the 2 cost Sinon. Now she can gain the snipe ability too if you place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. However, she can only snipe characters with 2500 or less battle points, or rather less than 2500 battle points. And the reason for this is because of the second mechanic of the deck, which is related to the Asuna here. So the Asuna is also a raid card and has a really long text, but basically what it says is that you can choose one character on your opponent's front line and one on the energy line and rest them both. And then if you have chosen 2 characters, you can swap them, which means you play her down, you rest 2 characters, one on the front line, one on the back line, and then you can switch these 2 characters. And then if you have 4 or less life cards, these characters will also gain the ability that they are not allowed to move until the start of your next turn. So they are frozen in place in the respectively line. So with the Sinon, then you can just KO like a 1 cost or like a small energy card, while the big boys are like frozen in the energy line. Our line also consists of 4 of the 0 cost characters here, 4 of the 1 cost Asuna who can gain 500 battle points, and then 4 of the color trigger Asuna here who can take 1 life card from your life pile and then also draw a card. So a lot of draw power here. The last characters here in the deck are 4 of the 0 cost Leafa who has Nullify Impact, and then 4 of the Leafa Earth Goddess. She also has Nullify Impact and she can gain an ability if you take 1 life card, where she gets 2000 battle points, and this character cannot be chosen by your opponent's character side, event cards or trigger abilities until the start of your next turn. So she's defending herself pretty well. And the last card are just 4 of the double energy Lisbeth here, who is also a searcher for any of the goddess cards. Lastly, we have the event cards. Here's the special trigger. Now the special trigger is pretty open, not character bound, but it's rather bound to your life cards. You can switch one of your opponent's characters with 5000 or less battle points to resting, but if you have 4 or less life cards, you can sideline it instead. Then we have the homemade pie again, choose up to 2 action points and switch them back to active. And lastly 2 of the unlimited landscape manipulation ability, which is basically like the Asuna raid card. You can rest 2 of your characters and switch them. 2 of your opponent's characters and switch them from the front line to the energy line. Or you can sideline a side on your opponent's field that has a cost of 1 or less. Alright guys, this is the second deck, the second yellow deck, the Goddess deck. Let's head into the battle. Alright, here we are in the tabletop simulator. We have the yellow Asuna featuring the other goddesses here in the red side. And in the blue side we have the Alice Trinity with the Eugeo and Kirito. So let's throw the dice, see who will go first. Got a 5 and a 2, which means the Asuna here will go first. Okay, our starting hand looks pretty alright. We have 2 0 costs here. We have the action point restate, then we have the Leafa Goddess and the Sinon Goddess. So I think we can work with this. Let's just start by playing the... Who should I play? I think I'm gonna play the Leafa first. Actually, the Leafa, yeah. Because she's not a raid character. Let's untap and end our turn. We will gain 2 action points and draw an additional card. We have 2 1 cost Alice, 1 0 cost Eugeo and 1 0 cost Alice here, okay. And we also got a searcher, that's not bad. I think here I wanna play the Alice. Buff Alice card here, because the Eugeo could be used to like buff one of my characters later on, and I'm gonna play this guy next turn anyways. So yeah, let's untap and end our turn. Okay, let's start our turn, draw a card. Okay, we got another 0 cost. That's quite alright. Should I move her to the front line, deal some damage, then hope for a 2 cost next turn? I think so. Let's move the 0 cost to the front line, play 1 Asuna, and play 1 Sinon. Then we will move to the attack phase. There's no one on my opponent's front line, so we can swing for free. Deal 1 damage, and it's a raid card. I don't have the sufficient energy, so I can add this to the hand, which is pretty nice. So let's untap here and end our turn. Okay, on the Alice side, we are staying at 2 action points, and we draw and we get another 1 cost. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna do the same thing. However, I'll move her to the front line since she has a step. Then I will play another one of her, I think. And I will play the Eugeo for 2 energy. Look at the top 4 cards and reveal up to 1 Kirito or Alice card among them, 2, and add them to my hand. Let's search the top 4. There's a 0 cost Kirito, the 3 cost Alice, and I cannot add him myself to the hand. We got 2 raid characters here, so I think I don't need the raid, but I'm thinking about grabbing her. However, I still need one of the Kiritos on the field. Whatever. The double energy is more important, so let's grab the Alice. We will bottom deck this and add this to the hand, and then we need to discard 1 card. Yeah, discard her. Alright, we move to the attack phase, swing 2.5k. I don't really want to block it, so I'm just gonna take the life card and we get a draw trigger, and then we untap here and end out. So this will be the 3rd action point turn. And we get another 0 cost. Okay, I think I'm gonna use the homemade pie in this turn. Not sure if I'm going to raid, however. I could definitely raid though. So let's start by playing the Asuna here rested. So we're up to 3 energy, which means we can use the homemade pie. Set 2 of our action points back to active. Then we will play one of the color trigger double energy Asuna. And I think I will use her ability because we want to have low life cards. So I will add a card from my life area to my hand, and I can draw a card. Just gonna add the top here, which is another Sinon raid, and then draw a card. Got a special trigger, which is not too bad. Just realized the Leafa has a Vent Blade ability, so it's actually not that good because she is not played as active on the field. However, I think we're still gonna bring her out. So first we're gonna raid the Sinon here. Move her to the front line. I don't have 4 less life cards, so her Vent Blade ability doesn't activate. However, I just want to have like a strong body on the field. And then I follow it up with the Leafa. Now I could have played her first, use the Vent Blade ability to go down to 4 life cards, but I think I will save it up for later. So let's move to the attack phase. Gonna swing with our Sinon first. And since my opponent can block this Leafa, I will just take this first hit. Got a color trigger. Just one character on your opponent's frontline and switch it to resting. It will remain set to resting the next time it would be switched to active. So I think I will apply it on the Leafa here, so she cannot block in the next turn. And then this Leafa will be blocked by the Alice. Let's untap here and end our turn. Oh, she will be rested. Alright, let's draw a card here. We're only missing a Kirito, and we also got the homemade pie, which is good. Could bring him out and swing with double attack with him, which is pretty neat. And then I have all the characters that I need to activate her Vent Blade ability. Okay, so how do I do this? I think I know what to do. So in our move phase, we use her step ability to move back, and we will move him to the front line. So our Kirito could be online, since this is not an Vent Blade ability, right? Yeah. As long as they're on the front line, he will get double attack. And so we're still at 3 energy. Then we will play the color trigger Alice here. We will not use any effect, however we are up to 5 energy now. We will use the homemade pie. Set 2 of our action points back to active. Then we choose 2 of them to play the Kirito onto frontline as active. Again, he doesn't have a Vent Blade ability, but with the last action point here, I can actually raid. Who do I raid here? I think I'm gonna raid the 0 cost Alice. Move her to the front line and activate her Vent Blade ability. Since I have Kirito and Eugeo on my front line, I can KO 4k, which I think gonna be the Sinon here. And my Kirito now also has a double attack since I have Eugeo and Alice on my front line. So that was a pretty nice combo. Let's head into the attack phase. We're gonna swing first with the Kirito, as long as both characters are still on the field. So he will be set to active, and I think I will do 1 damage because I don't want to sacrifice her yet. And I want to kind of hope for like a special trigger here, however we will not get any trigger. Then I think I will swing with the Alice next, because I want to protect her from a potential special trigger. And there is no trigger again. Then swing with the Kirito again, 3500. Again, I can only block one attack, which will be the last one here. And there is the special trigger. Since both Kirito and Alice are rested, I think I wanna KO the Alice. However, the Kirito is a double action point card, so it's harder to get him back on the field, so I think I will actually KO the Kirito here. And the double attack is stronger than just a raid character on the field. And then lastly I will swing with the Eugeo, and I have to block this one because I'm at 2 life cards. Yeah, this deck has like a lot of power. Should wrote correctly. Let's untap here and end our turn. We can finally untap our Leafa here. We're down to 2 life cards, so all of our cards are online. However, I didn't expect to get rushed down this fast. Let's see what we can do this turn. I think the play here is to snipe the Eugeo and KO the Alice, or do it like vice versa. And I have like exactly the cards that I need for this, so let's start off by playing the 0-cost Sinon here. I think I can use the Radiant Light first to KO 4k, which will be the Alice. And then we're gonna raid the Sinon here. Move her to the front line, activate her Blade ability so she gets snipe. And she also has plus 500 battle points and impact 1 since I have only 2 life cards left. So let's head into the battle phase. We start by sniping the Eugeo. He's going to die and I will deal 1 damage, which is an active trigger. And then we're gonna swing 4k with the Leafa here. And it's another trigger. Alright. I hope that was enough to kind of stay alive here. Let's untap and end our turn. So maybe it was a mistake to rush my opponent down before building like a proper board here. But we still have like a lot of options here. I think I will not do an action point draw because we have the Eugeo here. And we need to have 5 energy in the energy line anyways. However, she cannot KO anyone except the 2000 character. Whatever, we're gonna play him first into the energy line. Look at the top 4 cards again, search the top 4 for an Alice or an Kirito card. So we can only add an Alice card to our hand, unfortunately. Get the double energy Alice, bottom deck this. Add this to the hand and then we have to like... I think I can discard the Eugeo here. We haven't seen a single raid Eugeo yet, which is kinda unlucky. So now let's use the active trigger. My Alice just need to be on the field, so I have her here. We're gonna KO... She doesn't have snipe anymore, but she still has impact 1 and 4k damage, so I think I have to KO her. Yes, I have to KO her. And then we raid on the 1-cost Alice here. Move her to the front line to have like a blocker or something like that. And a potential attack, so we're gonna swing 4k. The question is, do I wanna go down to 2 life cards now? Or 1 life card? I think I kinda have to, because she also has nullify impact. So I'm protected from like an impact card. I can draw a card. Alright, that's everything. Let's untap here and end our turn. We will draw and we have 2 of the Asuna, okay. Which means we can raid and we can do some switcheroos, I think. Now this is just great. Let's move, yeah. Actually, no. Let's move her to the front line. Because I'm pretty sure we can double raid this turn. We're gonna play one of these Asuna. We will not activate the even blade ability. I think we just wanna raid here, so we're gonna use the next one to raid on the 0-cost. This is an Asuna card, right? Yeah. Asuna card, move her to the front line. I think I only have to activate her when blade ability once. Choose up to one character on your opponent's front line and up to one on one character with one energy. So I can switch one of my opponent's characters and switch them to resting, and they cannot move until the start of your next turn. Okay, yeah. So switch these to resting, and I need a one cost, which is the Alice. Unfortunately, I cannot bring in the double energy here. So we're gonna do this. She cannot move the next turn, and she cannot move the next turn. And then for our last action point, we're gonna go all in, play another Raid Asuna, move her to the front line, and we will not activate this ability again. So I think this is pretty much GG. 3 life cards, no blocker, and 4 attackers. So let's go. First, Asuna. We get a draw trigger. The thing that could save my opponent here is one special trigger and one final trigger, but that is like really unlikely. Swing again, Asuna. This is a get trigger. And finally the Leafa. And we have another get trigger. So yeah, we managed to win with one life card left, which is the Leafa Goddess. The Asuna Goddess deck won the game. But both of these decks are kind of similar in strength, and they're both really fun to play. I think like the yellow set in the Sword Art Online set is like really a good choice if you want to build like a strong and still fun deck. So alright guys, this concludes the video. I hope you enjoy it as usual. With this yellow video I have introduced all of the Sword Art Online sets now. Again, you can like play around with the deck list, you don't have to build it the exact way, and there are like a lot of more cards that you can explore. Yeah, if you want to check out the other deck lists, you can check out the other videos, and I will see you in the next video.